Hey guys, what's going on? It's Charles. Today, I have a very special guest for you. His name is Tan. So Tan is one of my best friends, and he's one of the co-founders of Agent Efficiency. Agent Efficiency is perhaps a top productivity blog in the world. And I don't just talk about internet marketing on my blog. One core specialty of mine is productivity. And to be honest, a lot of my productivity material came from reading their blog and my relationship with them over the years. So we mastermind a lot on productivity and business. So right now, this week, he's visiting me in Miami. I just moved here, so he's hanging out here with me. And I thought, okay, let's just shoot a quick interview. So I had a bunch of questions from my readers, and let's get to it. So first of all, thank you, Tan, for coming here.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm really excited to be here. You've been showing me around for the last couple days, and guys, you guys see the pictures? And I was like, yeah, that's pretty nice. And then I came here, I was like, holy crap, I wanna move here, live here, and like, this is absurd.
Yeah, Miami is very fun. So I made a brief introduction to my audience who you are. Could you tell them in your own words a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I've been, always super obsessed about being efficient, getting things done quickly, and just not wasting time, right? I think if you're really ambitious and you want to get stuff done, you know that you have to be productive. You know that you need to get stuff done and not waste any time, because time is money, right? And so, especially with this industry, like there's so much stuff that you have to learn, so much stuff you have to do, and you got to put in the hard work. But what's the point of working hard if you're not working efficient, right? It's like you're wasting so much time, energy, and it's just like frustrating. And especially when you have like all these common problems, what are some of the mindsets that we need to fix that? And I'm sure as you read Charles's blog, like he talks a lot about systems, talks a lot about mindsets, and like doing things quicker and faster. And I've been obsessed with that as well in other areas. And so when we met and we sort of hit it off, we were like, oh yeah, you do this, I do this, it's the same thing, but we just apply it differently, And so over the years, I just started sharing that on the blog, and Charles has been, generous enough to, link to us and show you guys what we do. And
what's cool about productivity is there's level 1 of productivity, which is, morning routine, most important tasks, and that's kind of what everyone else does. But there's a much deeper productivity. That's when we start getting into some of the advanced software. That's creating systems. That's the next level. Like for me, I've been extremely busy. I decided to hire a personal assistant. So that's what I love about productivity, because we all have 24 hours.
Yeah.
But something I've learned is if you make money, you can buy time. You can literally buy time. So what are some of the personal systems you have, such as, do you have a maid? Do you use Instacart, like Uber? Like what do you use for your personal life?
I try to systemize my life as much as possible, just I know you do. Mm-hmm. And so, I have a maid coming over every 2 weeks, cleaning up my place, and that's what he means with buying time. Like I could technically do that, but dude, I'd rather spend the money.
It takes me like 30 minutes to iron a shirt, and it looks like crap. When my maid can do it in 1 minute. I can't be good at everything. I'm only good at some things.
Yeah.
So that's what people lack. Like I tell my readers this one story. I had a friend who was doing like 20,000 profit a day in affiliate marketing about 6-7 years ago. I call him up. He didn't answer my phone call for 2 hours. I was like, dude, where were you? Because we were talking business. He's like, oh man, Charles, I was mowing my lawn, dude. Couldn't answer your phone call.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, why are you mowing your lawn? Can't you let a kid do this? Can you let someone else do this? And he said, they can't mow it the way I want to mow it. They can't get it the way I look. And I was like, does it really matter? You're in front of the computer 12 hours a day. Who cares what your lawn looks like? But that's
the mind shift that people need to make. It's like, yeah, we cannot be good at everything, mm-hmm. but we have to accept that what we're really good at is something we should, strive to be excellent at. And then the rest, is like...
There's also the mind shift of not expecting everything to be perfect. Mm. For instance, I like my chicken breast and rice a certain way, but I don't have to have it my exact way. If someone else can spend that 2-3 hours a week cooking my meals and they get it 80% as good, I'm satisfied. And over time, they're going to get better and better.
Yes.
So people have to drop that perfectionism mentality to become more
It
productive.
doesn't have to be perfect right from the start. And like he said, like 80% first time, and then, you know, Kaizen, one improvement every single week.
That's what Facebook says. That's their quote. Done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
Done is better than perfect. So, all right, let's get into some of the questions. So one of my reader wants to know, it's hard for me to remember, it's such a long one. Okay. So one of my reader wants to know, what is your take on work-life balance? When does work begin? When does work end? And when does life get into this? And when is it enough for the day? Like, when's your boundaries? What are your boundaries?
Okay, interesting question. So, especially for you guys, there's like, I've noticed in the industry with you guys, it's like you go through ebbs and flows. Like there's certain times of the year, like where you're completely immersed and then like get stuff done. And we had an interesting conversation about that a while, maybe a year ago, because you give an analogy that really resonated with me. Is like the way you approach things is like an MMA fighter or like a boxer.
Oh yeah.
Where they have this fight coming up, and all they're gonna do is focus on that fight. For like 3 months, they're gonna eat clean, no partying, and just focus on training and just zoomed in like crazy.
Dude, the World Cup players don't even have sex for those
Right.
3 months.
Yeah, and so you're completely zoned in. You're working a lot. You're very focused, and then the fight is over, and then you like relax, take a break, and recover a little bit until the next fight comes, and then you get back into it. So it's just like an ebb and flow to things, which I think is a great way to approach stuff.
So to sum it up, his one way is to be obsessive for a short period of time and then go into a rest mode. So it could be, that's kind of what I do, where when I'm working in America, I'm working 7 days a week for 2 months straight, and then I'm off to Asia for like a month or two to completely relax.
And that's what this industry can offer, that kind of lifestyle. Like if you work a regular job, then you cannot do this, right? And I think all of us are here because we want to live our own life on our own terms. And that's one way that you can do that, where you live your life like that.
So how does this work? I think one thing he's interested in asking about is, how do you balance the work-life balance on a daily basis?
So I always look for results. So that's the first thing I look for, is when I start my day, what is the results that I'm looking to get out of? Like each day delivers me one result, whether that's finishing a landing page, getting my ads approved, or whatever it takes to get that specific result.
Sounds like visualization would help.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I do every single morning. So I go through my morning ritual, and part of my morning ritual is 3 minutes of visualization, where I say to myself, what's the outcome that I want? And I'm going to try to visualize exactly how that's going to happen. Because here's what I've learned over time, is that if you cannot visualize it, then you cannot execute on it. It's almost like if you can't imagine it, it's not going to happen.
So I have a question about work-life balance. There seems to be two camps. There's the camp that's kind of get rich or die trying. They're the ones that are kind of like Bill Gates, where I work every single day, I don't take vacations, I don't take time off. Then there's the other kind that are kind of like the digital nomads, the ones that do the bare minimum of work. They'll go to Thailand or some shit, or a place that's really cheap, and they're more about living and enjoying life. They don't care about the achievements or the money as much.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that? And where do you see yourself at?
I'm definitely more on the side of not taking a lot of time off and just immersing myself in focus.
Why's that? Well, I mean, you could be on the, you're in Austin. Mm-hmm. You could be in Chiang Mai. You could be in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Why are you in Austin? I mean, you could be on the beach working.
Yeah, because my team is here. A lot of people that I want to network with is here, and so I want to surround myself, put myself in an environment where I can succeed, right? And if I go on the beach, yeah, I can still get stuff done, but my mindset is going to be different. I'm going to be more focused on relaxing and relaxation and enjoying life, which is not a bad thing, but there's also in terms of ceilings and quality of life that you can have. Like, for example, Mark Cuban, he famously said in his book, first 7 years he started his business, he didn't take any time off, right? And now he's like a billionaire. Look at the digital nomads, and they cap out at maybe $250,000 a year, $500 at most. there's just a certain ceiling that you have when you live a particular lifestyle. And so it's up to you what kind of choice you want to make. I'm not saying one thing is better than the other, but I'm personally leaning towards like focus, immerse, and just take enough strategic breaks where you can still go on vacation and enjoy your time, but then get back into it and then fully immerse again.
I'm completely the same way, because for me, I've made enough money to retire for the rest of my life, and I can chill on the beach or whatever. Yet I'm not. I'm running 2 companies. I'm still running this blog. I'm still working as hard as I was 8 years ago. And part of the reason is this. I did the whole mini retirement thing. I was in Asia. I was in Bangkok. I didn't really work because I had my campaigns on a CPA basis. I was making good money. I didn't do a lot of work. But you know what? I got so bored. I was so bored.
I was there.
I mean, I was playing video games. I was dating chicks, doing the bare minimum number of work. But you know what I realized? Happiness is progress. Like for me, I don't need another vacation. I want to make an impact. And here's something I thought about. What does the world need? The world doesn't need another dude just chilling on the beach for the rest of his fucking life. The world doesn't need another guy that does like a drop shipping business or something. The world needs people who can make an impact, who can make a difference. So I moved back to Atlanta. I'm still here in Miami. What am I doing? I'm creating jobs. I'm building companies. I am creating opportunities for people. I'm making an impact on people's lives. You know, that makes me happier than being on the beach. I can still go to the beach, man. I'm like 2 hours.
You can still do that.
You can still do that. But I mean, there's just a limit to how much you can do that. Like it gets boring. All right, awesome. Let's go to the next question. We always have unexpected situations that happens throughout the day. So you have a perfectly day planned, and emergency happens, completely throws you off. So how do you prepare for this, and how do you overcome it when this happens?
So part of it is accepting that stuff like that will always happen, right? So there's some things in life that you can control, and there are certain things in life you just cannot control. So that's like the first thing you have to accept, is that stuff like that will happen, you know? One day I remember my mom calling me, and she was like upset about something, and you know, it threw me off a little bit. And you know, I cannot take things into account for that. I had my whole day scheduled, planned what I wanted to do, but stuff like that happens. And so what I do, and something I encourage other people to do, is when something like that happens, you know, it doesn't have to be as dramatic as my example, but even just like, hey, you get a phone call and like, you know, someone says something and you're like, oh,
turns
shit.
into a 1 hour conversation.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay. What do I do now? So what you do is, before that thing happens, or while it's happening, you write down what the last step was you did, and what you wanted to do next, right? So that by the time you get back, most of the time, if you don't have that written down, then you're like, oh, where was I? It takes like, you know, 20 minutes.
It's the inertia.
Yeah, it takes like 20 minutes to figure out where was I, what did I do, what was my train of thought. Whereas if you just write that down very quickly, and it takes like, you know, if you type quickly, 30 seconds. It's like, this is what I was thinking, here's the next thing I should be doing.
It also works well with a Kanban, because I could just go back to my Kanban board and see exactly what am I doing.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're working on big projects, one thing that we've been starting to do at Asian Efficiency as a team is keep log comments. And so as you're working on big stuff and you finish it, just type in what you were doing that day, what you worked on, what you're going to do next. And so by the time you come in the next day, you're continuing to work on it, you're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And so it helps extremely well when you work inside a team, and I know some of you guys have teams working for you. So if you can implement that, that will be a huge game changer, because like your team will just be way more efficient. And then distractions and interruptions as they come in, you always have like a stable point where you can go to and see, okay, this is what I need to do next.
Yeah, I think for me with distractions, I build a wall around me. So what I do is I have what I call cave time. So cave time means for 3 to 4 hours a day, you can't get in contact with me. And I take that very seriously. I'm talking about, if my mom dies, no one can get in touch with me. Unless you physically knock on my door, you can't get in touch with me. My phone's in another room, internet's completely blocked off, Facebook's blocked off. So that 4 hours a day, if there's some kind of distraction that comes up, unless it's like a world-class emergency, urgent emergency, you can't get in contact with me. So if I get those 4 hours a day and I complete my morning routine, it's a productive day.
Yeah, 4 hours, you know, it's really not that much, but you can get most of the stuff done.
There's a big difference between 4 cave time hours and 10 hours where you have Facebook, and read it in another tab. There's a huge difference. It's not the amount of time, it's the quality of the time.
Yeah.
So, next question. I would like to spend one day a week, perhaps Sunday, without any computer screens, computer, iPhones, tablets, and stuff. Would this be a good idea to improve his overall productivity?
Terrible idea. No, just kidding. I think that's a really good idea. And it's something everybody should do more often. And we were just talking about this earlier today about mindfulness and how to incorporate that into your life. And to give you a simple example, who goes to the bathroom nowadays without their phone?
Oh yeah, my friend was like, holy crap, I gotta poop. Have you seen my phone? I was like, what do you need your phone for?
Exactly. So, there's certain times of the day where it's good to just not do anything. And we were talking about it earlier this morning, we were doing yoga. And Charles was frantically doing stuff, his mind is racing 24/7. And we're watching this yoga video, doing yoga, and he's like, dude, when is this thing getting started? And I'm like, bro, just relax.
It's gotta be.
We're about to get started. And that's when we got into the mindful state, and then things,
It's about slowing the mind down.
Yeah. And so doing that once a day consciously, I think is a really good idea. So personally, what I have is a no Saturday work day. So no work on Saturday. And that's when I play golf, that's when I go out, that's when I have lunch and dinner elsewhere. That's when I'm trying to not be at home because I work from home. And so that gives my mind sort of a break in terms of, okay, don't think about work, just focus on other stuff, enjoy my time. And then usually when you get, the next day you're like, oh yeah, I want to check my email again. I want to see, how this thing is doing. I want to get back into the groove. And Sunday is a great way to plan your week for that. I know you do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So my thought is I would never go one day without checking my email. Me personally, because I have to be on call all the time for stuff. Some stuff happens. Instead, I like to take out certain times of the day that have no screens. So I do this on a daily basis. One, when you're in the bathroom, no computer screens, no phone. Another one, gym. So I remember, I used to work out without a phone, and then somehow it just creeped up where I'm checking my tweets or something in between sets. So now when I go to the gym or I do yoga, no screens. Another one you can try out, when you're eating, no phones. Because I've seen, I call this the one-hander. People are eating like this, and they got the phone like this. This is the modern eating position.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
then this. And then
oh yeah, and then you gotta take a picture, especially if you're Asian. So it's kind of funny because I remember back in the day, no one would go to a restaurant by themselves. Now, hey, if you're on the phone, it shows that you're busy. You're not, you're not weird. So yeah, so I prefer to do it on a daily basis, certain times of the day or certain activities. And oh yeah, when I walk my dog, 15, 20 minutes a day, no phones. It's just a chance for me to enjoy nature. Awesome. Fuck, this is hard.
You can improve the font size.
Fuck it, I'll just grab it here. All right, next question. How do you influence employees that may not be familiar with your work to follow and implement the efficiency techniques that you teach? Obviously, your employees are familiar with what you do, but the question is coming from a more general perspective. So I guess he's asking, he'll hire some new employees. They don't know the systems you have as well. How do you keep them accountable? How do you make sure that they're following the system?
Yeah, so when you're bringing in new people, and this is something we've been working very hard on, is the idea of an onboarding process, which I think everybody's familiar with, and having...
It's kind of like a training period.
It's a training period where you set the standards and the expectations for people. And so from day one, what you want to do is always set really high expectations and try to work with them to achieve them over time. And so for us, it's very systemized, it's very SOP oriented. So SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure. And so everything that we teach is in a system format. So for example, if you write a task, it has to be written in a certain format. We call those user stories. It's like an agile thing. And then if you don't write it in that specific format, someone else on the team will hold you accountable for that. And so it does require hiring the right kind of people because they have to buy into that. And that's more of a hiring thing. But the big idea here is during your onboarding process, teach them all that stuff that they have to learn, because when someone comes on, that's the time when they're most receptive to things, because once they start learning their own little things, their own way of using the software and stuff like that, then it becomes like a habit to them, and then it's like, you know, their way of doing things. But if you establish the habits for them from day one, then they pick up the right habit, and then that translates into the right things.
Very good points, very good points. I think for me, the most important thing is people set rules, but where things fall apart is executing and doing the rules on a daily basis. So a very simple example I have is a dog. I have a dog, he's somewhere, so somewhere in the condo. So with my dog, something I learned about training dogs, or even when you have little kids, you set the rules, you have to be consistent. So with these people in the first few weeks that they're working for you, you set the rules, you have to keep them accountable. If they mess up, you have to call them out. If they keep messing up, there has to be, I don't want to use the word punishments, but there needs to be something happening so that they know these rules are not just rules in a random handbook. These are rules that you actually follow. So you have to set that in the very, very beginning. That's the most important thing with any new employees. Like if I hire a maid, she comes in, she doesn't wash the dishes, and for 6 months she doesn't wash the dishes. All of a sudden 6 months later I tell her to wash the dishes. Well, she's probably not going to do it, or she might give me attitude, or she might start charging me. But starting on day one, she's not a full-time employee yet. She wants the job. So I have her wash the dishes from day one. Guess what? The standards are set. So with these employees, they're still new. You have to set the standards and expectations. Next question 10, how do you get into a deep state of flow every single day? The reader wants to know because some days he's more productive than others. So is there a way that you can be in deep flow every single day?
Yeah, so the key thing for me personally is to start the day right. And what I mean with that is to have a morning ritual, because I'm sure, you know, you've talked about this quite a bit. I talk about it all the time.
Could you just go through briefly what's your morning ritual?
So a morning ritual, you know, the idea is very simple. As soon as you wake up, there's certain things you do every single morning that sort of sets yourself up for success. So you think the right way, you feel the right way, and then when you start your day, you're like off to the races.
So something that Tim Ferriss says about his morning ritual, he says it should be so simple that someone else can follow it. Someone else can follow it like an instruction manual, and something that I recommend for morning rituals, avoid social media, no internet, no nothing. So I go through my ritual, I wake up, use the restroom, meditate, feed the dog, walk the dog, plan my day. All this is done without internet, because man, check your Facebook or your Twitter for 5 minutes, next thing you know, an hour's gone.
Yeah, so you can probably tell the difference between how Charles thinks about it and like the rest, right? So he doesn't say, I'm going to check campaign stats, I'm going to check, you know, the traffic and all that stuff. Like, no, what's most important for him is getting himself ready so that by the time he gets to the computer and he's going to check the stats.
It's like warming up. You just don't work out. You have to warm up before you can get into the flow. And something interesting about morning routines, I saw this video, this Navy SEALs guy, Naval Academy, said he makes his bed every morning because no matter what, as long as he makes his bed, it's a productive day. So for me in the morning, if I get my morning routine done, no matter what happens for the rest of the day, it's a productive day.
Yeah, so get your morning routine set up. You know, that's just one simple thing you want to do, and get that straightened out. So if you can do that, you know, everything else will flow really easily. And if you want to, you know, get mine, you know, check out the morning ritual starter kit that we have, and it will show you exactly the 6 steps that you need.
So let me ask you this. So you just talked about one facet, which is the morning routine. What happens when it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon? You are unproductive. What do you do then? Do you just say, screw it, I'm just gonna redo everything tomorrow, or do you power your way through? So what's your ritual when 2 p.m. you just don't feel like working anymore?
So when I get into that kind of state, the first thing I do is what's the thing that will reset my day? And there's 2 things that I like to do. One is take a nap. Every time I take a nap for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes at most, as soon as I wake up, I feel like refreshed. My brain is like, you know, fresh again, and I'm like, it almost feels like a new day. And then I get started again. And the other thing is, you know, start working out or going for a walk. getting out the building, getting out your environment where you normally work. Just start disassociating yourself with where you are. Exercise is great, walking and stuff like that. And then when you get back, you're like, okay, new set of eyes, new thinking. Now you can get back into
Completely agree. So 2 more things I want to bring in mind. Maybe your environment is not good. You can just go to somewhere else. Go to a co-working space, go to a friend's place, or go to a coffee shop. So that works. One thing I like to do, I kind of do a half morning routine. So I will go take another shower, make my coffee. I will restart my morning playlist from the very beginning. So mentally, I trick myself. It's a new day. Yeah. And a lot of it's mental, where the mistake most people make is it's 2 p.m., they feel the day is wasted. Not at all. Something I like to do is I'll set my Pomodoro and I'll clean the place for like 25 minutes and I'll see how much progress I make. You can get a lot done in 25 minutes. So yeah, even though 2 p.m. is already through half the day, well, you still have like 4, 5, 6 hours left. That's still a lot of time to do some damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, just you can't, the point is we gave you 2 strategies. A, prime the day so you're more likely to get into a state of flow. The second is if you're not in flow, you need a strategy to get back into flow. I'll ask, 10, do you have any advice on becoming more productive after the 8th hour of the day? So I think he's pretty fine working 8 hours a day, but after 8 hours, he's completely crashing. So he wants to work more than 8 hours. Any advice on that?
Ooh, okay. My initial thinking on that is you're probably looking at it the wrong way. Like if you can't get your most important stuff done in 8 hours, then you're not doing it right. Like
Really?
There's a fundamental error in the approach. So that's what I would fix
He's
first.
just trying to throw more hours at the problem.
Yeah. Like throwing more hours at a problem is not always the solution. It's usually you need to find a new way of thinking about something in order to fix it. So if you're working 12 hours a day and you still feel like you need to work more hours, that's not the right way to look at it. There's something wrong with that. Now, if he's meaning like, hey, I have a 9-to-5 job and then, after 8 hours I want to work on stuff.
Work on affiliate marketing, which is what a lot of guys are doing.
Right, then there's certain things you want to address. The most important thing is you got to figure out your energy level. Do you have the actual energy to do that sort of stuff? If not, then it's mostly fixing diets and exercising.
Sleeping.
And sleeping.
Most important, sleep is the most important thing.
Just you need the raw energy to be able to do that. Short-term solution is coffee or tea. I personally like to drink green tea just to keep myself. But the simple solution is the Pomodoro timer. Set a timer for 25 minutes, and usually it's all about getting that initial momentum. So Charles is going to show off his.
So check this out. Here's my new Pomodoro timer. Tan brought this as a housewarming gift for me. So yeah, it's just a Pomodoro timer. Set it for 25 minutes. That means for 25 minutes, I'm working. After 25 minutes. Yep. So a lot of you guys are probably thinking, why don't you just use a software? I mean, there are free software out there. It's all about least resistance. This, I'm done. Something like the software, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. It's all about least resistance.
So yeah, getting one of those timers, super valuable. And it's just, the problem is, if you're so tired by the 8th hour and you can't push yourself, something like that, having that timer just forces you to do it. And then once you have the momentum, inspiration can take over. If you have a strong vision for what you want to achieve, that starts to kick in, and that momentum keeps, going forward and forward and forward.
Okay, so my take on it is the same thing. You can't keep throwing more hours at it. Instead, I personally work around 8 to 10 hours. Rest of the time is what I call sharpening the axe. It comes from Abraham Lincoln or George Washington, where if he had to chop down a tree for 8 hours, he's going to spend 3 of the hours sharpening his axe. So for me, this means making sure I get 8 hours of sleep or 7.5 hours. I do my meditation. I work out 6 days a week. I take time to cook healthy foods. So I make sure to spend that time so that those 8 hours I work are more productive hours. I'd rather have 8 hours of productive work than 14 hours of kind of half-ass work. So as far as the other thing, what if you're trying to do affiliate marketing on the side while you're going to a normal job? Well, one thing you can do is if you live at home with girlfriend, wife, or kids, have them help out. You know, make them feel like there's a team effort. You can outsource some stuff to your kids or something, like have them do your dishes or whatever. That frees you more time. Another idea is do a second morning ritual. And what I mean an evening ritual. So you get home at 5, you have to set the ritual. You eat, do like a 10-minute workout or something, shower, coffee, boom, it's time for work. So you have to get into another ritual, like this is my second job. This is my second beginning.
Something a little bit more advanced, something that you hinted at, is try to systemize everything during the daytime. And the idea behind it is that we only have a limited amount of willpower each day. And so by the time you get home, that's usually when we're tired, we don't have a lot of willpower. And so if you have a lot of resistance to doing stuff, it's just really hard to start that campaign and work on that.
I got a baller idea. You have the most willpower and energy when you first wake up.
Yep.
Why don't you wake up early? Wake up early. Do 2 or 3 hours of affiliate marketing. Wake up at 4 in the morning. You have to do 2 to 3 hours of affiliate marketing. Go to work, and then when you get back, you can just do 1 hour or so, and then the rest of the time just relax. And
I like that idea much better.
Some of you guys are like, 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't want to do that shit. Well,
what time do you wake up, Charles?
I wake up about 6:30 to 7.
Yeah, so I usually wake up at like 5:36.
Yep.
And so does that mean that you have to wake up earlier to become more successful? There's no right or wrong. It's just we're leveraging what we have.
Yep.
Right?
So the point is, how bad do you want it? You want something, you have to make sacrifices, because for affiliate marketing, you're in a competition against guys like me. You don't have the money, you don't have the resources. You have to go into overdrive. It's going to be tough with any business. It's going to be tough in the beginning. The idea is you got to pay your dues, and over time, it becomes easier. All right, got 2 more questions. Oh. All right, next question is, what's your advice on long-term motivation? So I think a lot of people out there, they can be motivated for a few days or even a few weeks, but how can you be motivated for weeks, months, or even years at a time?
Okay, 2 things: finding your why and progress principle. So finding your why simply means, what's the vision, what's the main reason you want to do something? Like, what's the main reason you want to get into affiliate marketing? Like earlier today, I was seeing Charles talk to clients that were interested in taking his accelerator program. And one of the things he's looking for in students, is what's the vision? Why do you want to get into this? Which I thought, it was just a brilliant thing to ask, because he only wants to take on the best students who he knows are going to succeed, right? Because that allows them to do really well, helps him grow his business, but also everybody wins, right? Because he only wants to work with people that are going to succeed.
Ideal clients,
and so if he knows what the why is, he can tell, okay, you're in it for the right reasons, and whenever you're stuck, you're going to keep powering through, because you're going to be in it for
a lot of business is mental.
It's
mental.
But if you're just like, you don't have a strong vision, and you're just like, want to do something, get rich quick or whatever, that's not something that's going to drive you. And whenever we run into a stumbling block or we get stuck somewhere, if we don't have that reason, that vision, then it's really easy to get demotivated, and then we just stop and then don't do anything, right? So finding your why, the vision.
And you have to keep reminding yourself of that why. That's why you should create a vision board. So you can, or a vision wallpaper that's like, what's your why? Put a picture of a family there. You want a Lamborghini? I'm not judging. Put a picture of a Lamborghini there. I had pictures of all these different islands, vacation life and stuff. So that way, you're not just motivated for 1 week. You can be motivated on a daily basis. When you're tired at 8 at night, you see that vision board. You're like, okay, this is why I'm doing all this for.
Yeah, so when you see that, it should like jumpstart you. And if it doesn't, you need to find a different one, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is like the idea of the progress principle, which means if you can see yourself making progress, you're more likely to succeed and to keep going. But if you can't see yourself making progress, even though you are, it doesn't matter, because then you feel unhappy. You're not going to stay content. You're not going to be focused enough.
Can you explain so you're talking about tracking? Can you explain the concept of like KPIs and tracking some stuff? Like just keep it very simple for personal. How would they track?
Yeah. So let's give a simple weight loss analogy. Let's say you're a little bit overweight, like let's say about 15 pounds, and you want to get down to a certain number that's like 15 pounds lighter, right? If you look at the scale every single time and you're not making progress, how are you going to feel? You're going to be like, oh, it's not working, why should I work out now and stuff like that. But if you see yourself losing weight every couple of weeks, you're like, heck yeah, it's working. Maybe not every day I'm going to drop, but at least I'm knowing by sticking to this process and the plan, I'm going to drop that weight.
And you need before-after pictures. You got to take pictures all the time. So, I mean, you can apply this idea to anything. When I have my habits I'm trying to do, such as reading and meditation, so I have an app. I have different iPhone apps, and I look forward to logging in every day because I can see the progress. And if I miss a day, it irritates me, and I just want to keep going. I just want to keep going.
So it's just being able to see that you're working towards it is the key, right? And so having certain milestones in place and celebrating that is really important, and that's something I personally have to work on myself, is just to keep reminding myself to celebrate those little wins as well.
That's why one thing you can do is, I like to have an Excel chart where I do this is my reward. I accomplish this is what I get. Like for me, I just bought something really nice for myself. I'm not gonna say what it is. It's really, really nice. I achieved the goal. I made a certain amount of money within a certain amount of time. I hit it, I bought it for myself. I could have bought this anytime I want, but I made myself work for it. So it could just be as simple as, if you guys lose 10 pounds, then you can go get a massage. It doesn't have to be extravagant.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. And one more tip I have for long-term motivation, because I've been at this for almost a decade, and I'm still going strong. Not only do you have to find your why, but what you'll find is sometimes your why will change. What motivated you in the past might not motivate you now. And that's something many people don't recognize. Because for me, you know what motivated me? Getting out of debt, freedom, and traveling the world. Well, guess what? After 4 years of this, I already got out of debt. I already traveled the world. I lived overseas. I've been there, done that, and I was burned out. I didn't take time to figure out what's the next level wise. Because at the very beginning, when you're a homeless guy, what's your why? You just want to be hungry. You just want shelter. You don't want to smell bad anymore. You want to have food in your stomach. The next level, a lot of this from Tony Robbins. So there's like next level. Now you want love. Now you want security. Then in the future, maybe you want significance. You want to make contributions. At the highest levels, it's Maslow's, self-actualization. You want to be the best that you can be. So you have to figure out your whys, and you have to keep in mind, as you grow through life, you make progress, your whys might have to change.
Yeah, that's really, really important.
Okay, I think we got one more. Let's see. That was the last one? Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, let me think. Okay, I'm tired. Okay. All right, so I think we answered about 8 questions, and this interview is getting kind of long. So, because we got to take Tan back to airport so we can head back to Austin, Texas tonight. So right before the hurricane hits, I think we're about to get hit by a hurricane. So if the hurricane hits, this video is not going to be released. If this video gets released, that means I'm safe. So Tan, once again, thank you for your time. If people want to know more about you, how can they find you on the internet?
Just go to asianefficiency.com, and you can stay in touch with us through our newsletter. So you can just click there and sign up, and we'll send you updates on whatever we're working on, what we're doing, and some of the newest strategies that we share with our best clients as well, so that you can always be efficient, stay productive, and get shit done.
So that's Asian Efficiency. How would some of the ladies get in touch with you? Like, what's your Twitter, your Instagram?
Oh, okay. Well, you can find me on Instagram. It's The Real Tan. So the real and then THANH.
So there's a fake Tan out there.
Yeah. And then you can find me on Twitter on TanTFam. So if you just go to asianefficiency.com, it's all there.
All right. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.